Good morning. My name is Betty Frimpong-Mansoh, and today I will be delivering a presentation on my service learning project. The agency I selected was New Choices Lancaster. During this presentation, I will aim to introduce the project, explain why I selected the agency, give a description of the population, the needs of this population, identify how the healthcare professional plays a role in addressing the social, political, economic, and cultural issues of the population served, describe how the population was designed, how I made this project happen, and how I implemented everything into action, discuss any project revisions or considerations for future service to this population, identify the objectives I created, and also describe how they were met, analyze how these objectives affected the population at hand, and then reflect on how this project impacted me personally and professionally. The agency was selected for a very personal reason. I wanted to make sure that, as a single parent myself, that I was volunteering somewhere within the community that was giving back to the same demographic, single-parent households. The population served at New Choices Lancaster are men and women of low socioeconomic status. Whether it be single-parent or full-parent household, the goal of the program is basically to elevate and empower anyone socioeconomically, culturally, socially, politically, and assist them with achieving any personal, educational, or career goals. This is provided through two different programs, New Choices and New Beginnings. Both programs are 2-week long and focus on teaching the students in the programs boundaries, time management, goal setting, interview skills, resume writing, and also provide mock interviews and mock application statuses to assist with this process as well. New Beginnings focuses on women in transition from the prison into the community. So women who are in that program, their release date is within 30 to 90 days. New Choices focuses on anyone, whether it be male or female, who are 18 years or older and have achieved their GED and want to pursue additional educational or career goals. And if you do not have your GED and you come showing interest into the program, the director will make it her mission to assist you in attaining your GED, so then that way you can apply to New Choices. Next, I'll discuss how me as the healthcare professional played a role in addressing the population served socially, politically, economically, and culturally. We will start with the social aspect. Socially, I noticed that people in this population had a lack of opportunity to afford or attend early childhood education for their children, like preschool, or childcare on a general level. They lacked motivation or familial support for whatever reason. There were a multitude, and they had a lack of knowledge on how to access resources for themselves or their family. As the healthcare professional, I assisted with this by forming lists for different people in the organization on different programs. I assisted multiple family members in looking at early childhood and pre-K programs like Head Start. Although the wait lists for a lot of these programs in the Lancaster area were long, there were multiple programs within Lancaster Lidditz. So some of the parents I had sending their kids to other programs, not necessarily closest to their home, but at least their children were being enrolled in programs in the area and it would benefit them in a way of providing essentially free government-funded childcare. And also, if their child's in preschool, they're getting an early advantage into kindergarten. It's just setting everything else into motion for their family on the lowest level to achieve academic access repeatedly and decrease intergenerational illiteracy and hopefully increase socioeconomic status for their children and also for the parents, because now they can go to work and work, or for themselves go to school because now their children are in school versus being home with them. In the aspect of motivational and familiar support, they really try to foster group interaction. So one of the things that I was responsible for was creating like cohesion among the students in the class at that time. So in the 2-week period, you're with the same people for that duration, and they become your motivation and support. And it's surprising how these strangers bond together over a variety of different issues and really push each other to succeed. On the lack of knowledge, we meet the director and I sent out referrals to different agencies in the community. Actually, PA College came to speak in reference to assist certain women on who wanted to enter nursing, surgical tech, on different prerequisites that they needed, gave them background information. Thaddeus Stevens came and spoke and discussed all the different resources and also free scholarships they offer for women who want to pursue various trades, which I never knew about. But that's how we address the social aspect. The political aspect, one thing that was really we focused on was the governor has removed New Choices from program funding from the state. So we needed to advocate for the program on a local and state level. And we encourage students. I encourage other nurses I work with. We went door to door explaining what the program is, showing videos about what the program encompasses to get people in the community to write letters to their congressman. And I never really knew how important this was. And actually, some of the students, after hearing how strenuous it is to work on some of the floors at the hospital, also assisted me in writing letters to our legislator on nurse-to-patient ratios. And it was just really cool to see how writing our legislator causes so many different actions and responses. Like, I had a lot of the representatives emailing me back. We got to go to Harrisburg and meet a couple different congressmen, and also like senators. We got to meet the governor, and it was one of the classes during which I volunteered at, that one of those classes got to come as well and got to speak and share their stories about how this program benefits them. And it was really amazing. Economically, I noticed that healthcare, lack of insurance access, lack of knowledge on how to acquire assurance, and receipt of preventative care was an issue for a lot of people in this population. So what I did was utilize some of the people that I know at LGH that work in case management, got information on how I could assist with applying a lot of the population served at the agency for Medicare, Medicaid, or any type of low-income insurance, and also provided rides to the welfare office. I waited for them, found free clinics in the area to help with preventative care. There were 2 facilities on North Queen Street, and although the appointment setting was very difficult and tedious, it was really nice to get the ball rolling to allow these people to have access to healthcare that they never would have had before. In addition, I also noticed another range of economic issues, childcare accessibility and housing assistance. And what we did here was we went to LHOP in Downtown Lancaster, which is the Lancaster Housing Partnership, and they assisted with helping certain people apply for housing, low-income housing, or finding apartments in the community that would fit within their needs. Culturally, I noticed that gender roles, religious beliefs, and interpersonal customs were important. Gender roles, there were 2 different females that came from Tabor through the refugee program, and they were refugees from West Africa, and within the dynamic of their family, it was almost seen as that the women shouldn't be pursuing education. So it was really kind of sitting down and talking to them and letting them know that no matter what they wanted to do, they had the support to do it here. The same kind of, the gender and religious kind of were interchangeable and had the same issue that women shouldn't be pursuing certain things. And interpersonal customs, it was me taking a step back and not necessarily pushing my viewpoints on people about advocating for women to be able to work where they wanted, attain whatever type of communication, but knowing that if I was going to really affect change within certain families, that I had to abide by their customs, and really learn their religious beliefs and customs and gender roles for their culture, and not violate it, but respect it, and see how I could figure out what goals they wanted that still fit into all those things, because that makes up who they are, and I'm not trying to change that or disrespect it in any way. The project was designed by me calling the director to ask if there was a need for volunteers, and she wasn't really receptive because she said that in the past she had had volunteers and nobody really had follow through. So I had to kind of do a preliminary 10 hours so she knew I was committed before I actually did my 30 hours. And then from there, after I came, consistently 10 times, then she signed my paperwork and we went over everything and established when I would do my additional 30 and discussed the goals that we wanted to accomplish for the program. The objectives I created was I wanted to seek out a professional videographer. I wanted to update the data system with potential applicants seeking services. I wanted to conduct a panel interview discussion of past and present students, and so then that way I could record it for the video in order to show what New Choices was, because I felt like it wasn't really known in the community, and also help with fundraising with the same video. I wanted to assist with classroom presentations and co-facilitate the program in the Lancaster prison. And I'm glad to say that I did meet all the objectives, but we'll talk about how each one was met and we'll go back. I met some difficulty in trying to find a videographer. I spoke with about 7 companies in more than 20 locations and couldn't figure out a way to feasibly complete the objective without either the venue or film service being offered free. So then this forced me to kind of change the dynamic of how I was reaching out to people. And finally, Lens Films returned an email to me saying that they really were persuaded by what I sent them and that they would create a video for a commercial that I could use at no cost. And then also from there, I also got a free venue at Tabor as well, which was really nice. So we shot the panel discussion there and also created a commercial that New Choices can now use to advocate for fundraising. And also when people are coming in to ask what this program is about, you have past students explaining it in their own words. And I thought it was really beneficial in multiple different areas to assist with the program. The second objective, I had to go into the office multiple times and create a Excel spreadsheet of all the different applicants that have already been in the program, which helped the director because then she could show adequately to the board members, and also when she was creating budgets and things of that nature. It allowed her to see all the students she had already assisted, all the scholarships that they had fundraised and administered, and basically, if they were to create a budget, what needs they would actually need to meet in order to create a successful program, if that makes sense. And the panel discussion was, I asked, in creating the database, I now had all the contact information for students from 2006 to the present. I sent out a mass email and explained to them what I was trying to do in reference to try and raise money for the program, and that I was creating this panel discussion to be recorded for fundraising events and also to explain the program and if anyone would be interested. And then whoever emailed me back, I made appointments for, and then Lens Films recorded it. I did co-facilitate with New Choices in the prison, and that was eye-opening as well as an amazing experience to see some of the reasons why these women were arrested, to assist them with creating their goals, to assist with just creating self-esteem and a positive environment, to make sure that these women do not regress and return back into the prison. So you're just creating and fostering these connections, so then that way they hopefully succeed once they're released. And it was, to me, one of like the most memorable things in my life. I feel like how the service learning project impacted the given population. In doing the video, I never thought of myself as a role model, but a lot of the students wrote me thank you letters. I tried my best, even with minimal time that I had, to provide tutoring, supplies, donate as much as I could, provide rides, and they were so appreciative. Like, if they didn't have, like, they obviously didn't have money to give me, but they would cook me meals or make me lunches for work, and it was just really nice to know that they appreciated everything that I was putting into it, and it just made me want to give more. Personally, this experience was mind-blowing. It taught me about self-awareness, accountability, the importance of planning, and the importance of service within the community you live. The struggles that the women and men who participate in this program are able to overcome is admirable, to say the least. The lack of resources available for them to overcome these struggles is astounding. And professionally, this experience reinforced the holistic side of nursing for me. I feel like it made me understand more, because I had seen these type of individuals come into the hospital and not really understood why they were non-compliant with certain things. And it really taught me to advocate for my patients, not only as they are patients in the hospital, but to think and sit down and learn about their home life. So then that way I can better treat them as a nurse. And I'm not just treating the issue right in front of me, but I'm treating the long-term issue as well. And maybe it made me think that maybe if the economic and social needs for survival are met within the community, these individuals might comply more with medical care as well. And these are my references. And if you would like to learn more about the New Choices program, I also put a video of an interview at the bottom with the director, Trisha Neighbors. And thank you so much for listening.